up on China's pledges of support during his visit?
Oh, definitely, yes, definitely.
Questions on China? Still on China? Other issue. China. Joseph.
So regarding the infrastructure projects, no,
Yeah.
si Secretary Jokno said yesterday that at least 10 will be signed. We don't know that
He's what?
what?
Ano yan?
At least 10 infrastructure projects to sign, no? We don't know whether
No.
that is the real number, but my concern is about paying these infrastructure loans if there are loans. Of course, the saying, Secretary Sonny Dominguez is saying that they will not compromise the sovereignty of this nation. But what is the assurance that we can pay off those loans in the future? Some sinasasabi ni Presidente is at 25 years pa babayaran, parang libre na yan. Of course, but we still have to pay after 25 years. What's the assurance that this is not going to be a burden to future generations of Filipinos after 25 years?
You're forgetting recent history. We were indebted with IMF and the World Bank for millions of dollars, and we were able to pay them. I think this nation has a capacity to will itself into complying international obligations and paying loans coming from other countries. I think that we have no history of not paying.
I think the issue is not
With respect to the interest, because they're complaining that interest is high, but that's precisely why there is a negotiation. We can negotiate to lower the interest.
Okay, last question on China. Deo. Deo.
Magandang tanghali, Secretary.
Yes.
Sir, sabi niyo po kanina, kung mag-unite yung ibang mga bansa to pressure China on the territorial dispute, kasama po ba ang Philippines if ever mag-unite ang ibang bansa to
Of course,
pressure?
precisely the Philippines is the one involved.
Maglilid po ba ang Philippines to unite?
Right now, us, the Philippines, specifically the president, is the lead coordinator of the ASEAN countries in talking with the Chinese government with respect to the code of conduct in that area, with respect to navigation.
But then sir, bakit po natin parang dina-downplay yung issue na yan? Like
What do you mean downplay?
hindi po natin pinapressure dahil nasa atin na yung claim, okay na tayo.
Well, if you were listening to the speech of the president during the summit, then I'm surprised that you were saying that. It was very emphatic that there should be a code of conduct because he is afraid that if there is no self-restraint, that if there would be conflict in that area, then all of us will suffer from that conflict.
Okay, last three questions tayo sa China. Pia, then Dreo, Celerina. Sir, right now there are many. Hi, sir. Hi, sir. Sir,
Yes.
right now there are many protests on the
Protests.
ground regarding President Xi's visit. Could you answer lang the sentiments of these protesters on the ground? Na ang pananaw po nila talaga is that the Duterte administration has rendered the Philippine interest to China, pabor po sa mga benefits like loans and yes, could you answer that, sir?
Well, I can understand where they're coming from, but again, as I said earlier, the president has a different tact in solving the problems confronting us. He's using diplomacy, negotiation, and persuasion to get what we want.
So, for all intents and purposes, we have not become a province of China.
Oh, definitely not. Remember, I think 2 months ago, when the Chinese government rudely used the language against us, the Philippine government, do you remember what the president said? Why are you using that kind of language? We're supposed to be neighbors. You don't do that to us. Otherwise, we will go to war. That's the language of the president. And I'm even surprised why the media did not catch on that. That should have been headline.
Okay, last na lang. Okay, back to the pledges of support. It has been over mga 2 years na after President Duterte went home from Beijing, na merong $24 billion worth of Chinese loans and investment pledges. But right now, only a fraction of that has materialized. Does this speak of the sincerity of the Chinese government in giving support to the Philippines?
One professor was commenting that the fact that it's 2 years, it is reassuring because the two countries would be studying all these proposed loans, what terms and conditions. What we're forgetting is there is bureaucracy, not only in this country, but also in China. I have some friends who have been working on this project for 2 years, but until now, they haven't succeeded. Why? Because according to the China government has very stringent requirements. Philippines has also stringent requirements. So it takes time. Hopefully, we will hurdle all these problems.
Last two, Andrea, then Celerina. A friendly
Kanina pa yung
reminder,
last,
please limit your follow-up questions. Thank you.
Sir, just what you're saying a while ago that the Philippines want other countries to unite to pressure China, but wasn't this the approach of the previous administration, the multilateral approach, which the current administration kind of stepped away from and stepped towards bilateral? So, hindi po ba
Not really. The administration will use all modes in solving the problem. Right now, it feels that the bilateral talks with China is or will work. If that fails, then multilateral
so
discussions would come in.
so bilateral talks will work? So just to clarify, you see it
As
still
far
as
as we're concerned right now, let's try bilateral talks first.
so just one last
Let's see how it goes, how far it will go.
Sir, given the territorial disputes we have on one side and the loans and the financial benefits that we're getting, so if you're gonna weigh both of those, are we getting the benefits of our friendly ties with China 2 years after the president pivoted towards Beijing?
Well, hopefully we will get them. That is precisely why we're having all this visit, this negotiations, these discussions. Hopefully.
So hopefully we're not yet getting it because that's a hopeful
We're not
tone.
getting it yet because we have only how much? $140 million. We're still negotiating with the other. We're precisely going to, in the words of Ben Jokno, let's demand for the fulfillment of these pledges. I'd rather use the word persuade, not demand. you use the word demand to them, they might react also.
Last on
They
China.
may tell us, you want us to help you, you're demanding from us.
Sir, any assurance, like for instance, we are negotiating these huge loans with China.
Yes.
There could come a point now we will insist on the PCA ruling. China might use that to, I don't know the right term, to pressure us to like immediately pay the loan, or parang gagamitin siya ng China to as a leverage,
What
ganon.
will they do? If we cannot
Kasi
pay
sir,
the loan?
just like
Tell
what
me.
happened,
What will they do if we cannot
Yeah.
pay the loan?
sir, remember,
Attack us?
remember what
No.
happened to North Trail before? It was, there was a loan agreement signed during the Arroyo administration.
Yes.
It did not push through, and when the Aquino administration came in and insisted on our rights over that West Philippine Sea, they demanded that we immediately paid the loan. So the Philippine government paid the loan immediately, even if it's not yet like meron pang mga grace period. So don't you think baka magkaroon ng similar instance na ganon?
Not in this presidency.
Yeah, not in this presidency,
No, what
but
I'm saying,
in the future.
not in this kind of presidency. Maybe during the previous presidency, it's weak enough to.
How about in the future? Like after, kasi we all know that until 2022 lang si President Duterte. So in the next administration, still the Filipinos would suffer if magkaroon ng ganun.
Well, my take is that this president has set a standard of a leader in this country, and there is no other way from those who will succeed him to be like him. One underlying principle: serving and protecting this country. He has set the standard of how a leader should govern this country.
So the successor should like act like what the president is
Yeah,
doing
it should be
right
like, in
now.
other words, courageous, independent, diplomatic, creative. He's a thinking president.
Okay, thank you, Sir Larina. Mag-last question na tayo ha. Other issue, Ina, Andalong.
Sir, regarding the president's schedule,
Yes.
doon sa, and you issued a statement on this earlier, you still did not say kung ano po yung urgent domestic development that initially made the president think about cutting his foreign trip.
Well, he did
short.
tell us, but I suppose there was no more need for him to come to the Philippines. Whatever domestic concerns he had in mind at the time, he was able to solve it even when he was there. But let me tell you that Secretary Locsin wanted him to attend only one day. He wanted him to rest because it was a punishing schedule. You know, when we went to Singapore, what time did we arrive there? Almost 12. And then we had a cabinet meeting. It ended at about 2 o'clock in the morning. And then another meeting for 1 hour. So I think we slept at about 4 o'clock. And the first event was 8 o'clock in the morning. How in the world can... That is precisely why he skipped certain events that can be skipped at. Because one, that was only an opening, so it's not that important. Number 2, 3, and 4, he had to read only a joint statement coming from the ASEAN countries. And there was going to be a discussion among the presidents. So he just tasked Secretary Locsin to read a statement for him. But the more important ones were 3 presidents of 3 powerful countries were to address the members of the ASEAN summit. He was there and he espoused his ideas vis-a-vis the concerns raised in that gathering.
So no idea at all, sir, on what this urgent domestic development is?
He did.
Because if you recall, before he cut his trip to Russia short because he attended to the Marawi siege. So we were asking you about this days ago, just in case if it's of that something that's serious as well.
Oh, he didn't tell us, but I can ask him maybe tonight.
Mhm. And how was it resolved exactly? Did he task anyone here? Did he deal with
No,
a
this is
problem
precisely why
there?
I said I'm going to ask him so that I can give you a concrete answer. I will ask him.
Thank you, sir.
Bia, may question?
Sir, following up on that, sir, aside from criticisms, President Duterte's decision to skip several meetings in the ASEAN summit drew a lot of criticisms to 93-year-old Malaysian Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad. They're saying that if a 93-year-old leader could attend all of these meetings, why can't President? Your reaction on that, sir?
For one, the physique of the two may not be exactly the same. There are people older and yet are stronger than the younger ones. It depends. But I saw President Mahathir not in all the meetings. In fact, there were others who, as I pointed out in my statement, the chairman himself did not attend 2 meetings. He asked, I don't know if that was a deputy or vice premier, to cover. President Trump did not attend. He was supposed to attend, just sent his vice president. But it does not mean, as alleged by certain people, that it's laziness or that they are seriously ill. It's fallacious.
Kasi sir, it all puts into question yung energy and style ng President Duterte to attend these kinds of events.
If you were there, I don't know, you were there, right? But did you notice us too? We were falling asleep. And some of them are more younger, much younger than us. One of them, head of state, fell asleep during the meeting,
Sino, sir?
or two. I will not mention, but if you were there, you would know. Oh, rather than be embarrassed falling asleep there and your camera focusing on you, mas power nap ka na lang muna. Anyway, sandali lang naman yun.
But is President Duterte physically fit
Oh,
to attend
definitely.
these kinds of high
My
level?
goodness, Pia, he's managing his schedule. Can you imagine this president has so many courtesy calls, and then he shuttled back and forth to the provinces doing his duties as president. And then he reads before sleeping until 6 o'clock in the morning, goes over reports, and then gives directives. Grabe siya. Bilib na kami. We can hardly catch up with him. Talagang iba. Napakasipag.
Okay, thank you Malacanang Press Corps. Thank you, Press.
Wala pa eh. Hindi, tinext na namin ng DFA.
Okay,
Hindi,
thank you.
I will